It's a pleasure to have a good friend, colleague, and firm leader joining us today, Paul Wessel. Paul wears many hats, including chairman of Weil's Tax Department and head of the firm's executive comp and benefits group. And he's also a valued member of the firm's management committee. Thank you so much for joining me today, Paul.
Barry, thank you very much. Appreciate this opportunity to talk.
Yes, we're gonna have some fun.
Great.
Paul, you happen to be the first partner on this series who hails from the department that I had first practiced in as a lawyer at Weil. So I'm very interested in hearing a little bit about your professional journey as a lawyer. What initially drew you to practicing law, and specifically, what drew you into the tax and executive comp area?
My path, like some of us, took a few steps along the way. The initial background was in labor relations. That led through law school and into the beginning of my legal career as an opportunity in employee benefits law. And from that time, I've been practicing in tax and in employee benefits and compensation law.
Well, you've been at Weil for more than a decade now, but you also had a very successful career and practice at other top firms. So I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts on what differentiates Weil in the practice of law and what's kept you here thriving for so many years as a key member of firm leadership.
This place is special. I mean, it really is. I've been here 13 going on 14 years. I'm privileged to have the opportunity to finish my career here. I love it here. And it's the culture that we talk about. And when we talk about it, there's a certain special culture that this firm has. It's not only that. It's and I talk about this with our younger lawyers. Unparalleled commitment to legal excellence. I mean, legal
I'm glad
excellence.
You said that. Yes, that is the number one priority.
It is, and that's
firm.
what our clients should care about and do. Externally, we need to be known as excellent, as having the highest professional standards, which I think we do. Commitment to legal ethics, pro bono, community service. You can go down the list, and it is a privilege to be at a firm in a practice where you can have those things, right? And to do that.
That all sounds perfect to me. It's music to my ears. I've always felt, as I said before, I was a lifer. This has been a special place to practice, but it's great to hear those sentiments echoed from others who have that perspective because who have practiced elsewhere. We've not heard from anyone in the tax and executive comp area yet, so I really want to ask you about hot topics that clients should be considering in your area across 2026. What are you seeing as the key opportunities or issues for clients through the balance of 2026?
I think one thing I'd say there, because it cuts across both tax and exec comp and benefits, is the current focus on what's even been called by the current administration as a deregulatory agenda. A deregulatory agenda. This was spoken about by the Assistant Secretary of Tax Policy at Treasury just recently at the New York State Bar meeting, and it's having an effect, I think, on deregulatory and de-emphasis on enforcement, which is yes, creates opportunities on the one hand. I think also creates risk for clients, for us as professionals in terms of advising. Right,
because we're advising clients on what really the law is and what you can do, not about not getting caught.
And unfortunately, you're getting more questions, legitimate questions like that, which is, well, do we really still need to worry about that or this issue? And I think as professionals, we still need to be gatekeepers of
absolutely
of those standards. And that's look, is that temporary? I don't know. And there's certainly justification often for deregulation, but it's a trend, and I think it cuts across.
It's going to be interesting to see how things play out across 2026. Market movement and geopolitical issues and instability have made the future, frankly, almost impossible to predict for years. But we will all be optimistic, as we always are. Now, I realize that your practice intersects with corporate restructuring and litigation. So I'm curious how the cross-pollination in your practice has informed or helped in overall practice management and in your firm leadership roles.
We work with our colleagues. We work in teams. We get to see all of what the firm does, essentially. And so you need to be that as a tax lawyer. This, and as an employee benefits lawyer, it needs to be in your DNA as someone who can work, support teams, clients
No,
across.
and it's important to have people who have your perspective across the firm in leadership positions, because you see it all and you see the differences, and this firm has always been about one firm and keeping everybody together. So it's interesting for people who have that perspective on working with people in all three departments.
And it's mutual, right? I give credit to our leaders and practitioners in the other departments. They recognize the important nature of the tax and benefits practice to their, when I say benefits, also mean comp and management, employment relationships. They recognize the benefit of that to their clients and need to bring us in. And
that's been part of the ethos of the firm.
Yeah.
Frankly, when I started in 1984, I'm dating myself, but so that was very well put. These podcasts always showcase people's individual styles and personalities. And I'd like to still ask you to tell me a little bit about your personal approach to leadership and how you motivate your junior partners and cultivate talent across the associate and counsel classes.
Sure, thanks. Law firms are different organizations in terms, and I think that's important to remember in terms of leadership, if that's the question. We are a firm of leaders. We are a firm of experts. We are a firm of practitioners who lead in their own practices and with their clients. So when you're the leader of a group, I don't think you're the boss. I don't think you're in charge.
That's for sure. I'm not the boss. You know that. I am definitely not the boss.
Right. So, and you don't obviously pretend to be that. So, my own view is, and everyone has their own style, but is to lead by supporting the team, lead by for young lawyers creating opportunities, giving people the bandwidth, the exposure to be successful, and as a leader to hopefully set the agenda, set the temperature of the group to work together.
No, you put that importantly, because this is law firms are very different organizations than sort of corporate America, which is just sort of a top-down approach. We don't have we don't have that.
We're an outward-looking organization. That's what law firms are. I mean, we reach out. We don't reach in as much, and it makes it challenging. And I'll close with I'm just reminded of something your mentor was known to say, R. Milstein, which is his famous quote, which is what's the best way to lead? You lead from behind.
Right.
And I remember that captures it. It's I guess a tremendous ethos.
Those are really important attributes for a leader to have, and I've only heard extremely positive things about your leadership and mentoring style. So I'd like to round out the conversation today by asking you something a little bit more open-ended. Who is a leader outside of the legal industry that you admire, and why?
Can I mention someone, I suppose, current, but also historic? Is that
that's okay?
Is that okay. No, in terms of world leaders, and I happen to be an admirer of Vladimir Zelensky, and with the struggle in the Ukraine, and all that he's been through, and how he supported his people throughout. I think that's an incredible story, and he continues to.
It continues to amaze me, and how he's kept his team and his people together, and inspiring in light of all of the difficult and tragedy that the people are going through.
Yeah. I mean, historically, and I'll mention this just because I know the individual's history, and I've read a book recently, and I'm familiar with the name Frances Perkins. So Frances Perkins was the Secretary of Labor under FDR, and was the first woman as a cabinet member in a White House, all 4 terms. She was, and again, there's been a fair amount written about her recently, underappreciated, unknown, architect of the New Deal, of things that social programs say, Social Security, unemployment insurance.
Other people get credit for it.
It's a remarkable story, and even beyond that, I mean, she was in terms of immigration and helping get, frankly, Jews out of Nazi Germany in the 1930s, helping FDR do it. So Frances Perkins, if you don't know her, the Department of Labor building in Washington, D.C. is named after her.
Got it.
Read about Frances Perkins if you don't know her.
So now we're going to change things up a little bit, and we're going to go to sort of a lightning round of questions, where I'm just going to ask you a series of questions. Whatever comes to the top of your mind, just shoot it back at me.
You got it.
Okay? So what's your go-to cuisine for takeout dinner?
So in Buffalo, New York, where I hail from, Pizza and wings counts as one cuisine. Okay, like so
Okay.
you get
Okay.
pizza wing, you order it together. It's
And
pizza
beer
wings.
goes with it, right?
Well, yeah. No,
Okay. If you had not chosen law, what would you be doing right now?
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. What would I be resting? No, I've always I'm still a fan of history and especially American history. So maybe
A professor?
writing, teaching. I don't know if I'd
Okay.
be good at it. But
What's your favorite vacation spot, the so-called happy place?
Yeah, for me and my family, it's the Jersey Shore. It's we spend our summers at the Jersey Shore. Even though I'm from Buffalo, I'm a Jersey.
What's
Jersey
a
guy.
personal or professional pet peeve?
Professional pet peeve, and the associates in my group will know this. It's we do a lot of legal drafting, and that's super important to me to be very good at that. It's the overuse of legal jargon in drafting
Okay.
and defined terms, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
My group does too. So
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
What celebrity would play you in your biopic?
So I've been told, I can't verify, that I bear a resemblance, or at least at one time did, to the comedian Ray Romano.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
yeah.
What's the best advice you've ever received from a mentor?
I was a young lawyer, had a tax department at my first firm, said two words. He said, be nimble. Be nimble. Laws will change, practices will change, business cycles will change. Be nimble. And
What was your favorite high school extracurricular activity?
I'd say hockey. I played hockey.
Defenseman?
Yes.
Okay.
Or the big centerman in the middle who just tipping the puck, but outdoors, pond hockey. Yeah.
What was your favorite TV show as a teenager?
I date myself. Monty Python's Flying Circus, which hit the air in the United States in the late 70s. Yeah.
Okay. What is a bucket list item that you've yet to accomplish?
Is for my wife and I. I'd love to go see someday the Northern Lights, which my daughter actually just did recently
Awesome.
in Norway. Saw some wonderful pictures.
Give me one song from your Desert Island playlist.
I suppose the song for me would be a song by the Kinks, if people know Waterloo Sunset.
Wow, I thought you were going to say Lola, but
Lola.
that's okay. This has been a lot of fun, Paul. I really appreciate you coming down to do this.
Appreciate it as well, Barry. Thank you very much.